This is Eyewitness News at noon. Coverage you can count on.
Hurricane Irma hit Florida Sunday and Monday, leaving much damage across South Florida. North Florida was slammed too. Jacksonville now dealing with damage from major flooding in some areas.
Many roads are turned into rivers. That's where we find Holly Pfeiffer. Holly, what can you tell us?
Well, all around the southeast, cities are recovering from Hurricane Irma. And here in Jacksonville, Florida, they're keeping a close eye on a steadily rising St. Johns River. Flash floods, power outages, and downed trees. Just some of the damage caused across the south by the wrath of Irma.
My windows broke on the backside here, and for about a couple hours, I thought the house might come down. And it got scary.
The full extent of the devastation is still being determined. Authorities are working to clear roads and bridges and restore power to millions across the region.
Most people are without power, so most stores are closed right now. There's a gas shortage right now.
Irma also left flooding in major southern cities like Savannah, Georgia, Jacksonville, Florida, and Charleston, South Carolina. Officials urging evacuees to be patient and wait to return when there is formal approval.
Working hard to get the power back on in the state, but 2/3 of our homes are without power right now.
The Florida Keys, where Irma made landfall as a Category 4 storm, were especially hard hit, with roofs ripped off and debris scattered throughout the streets. This is the first time on record that the continental U.S. has been hit by 2 Category 4 hurricanes in the same year. And now we're in a place called Jacksonville Landing. A lot of people come down here. It's a recreation spot. And actually behind me is the St. Johns River. And if you can see that metal railing down there, there's stairs that go down to that metal railing, and that's what's called the River Walk. Well, if you went down there right now, you'd be actually walking in the river. Now, we are heading in towards high tide, so officials are watching the water levels very closely. Yesterday, those banks overflowed. Where we're standing was completely flooded, and it actually went as far as 3 blocks in town into the downtown area. But they're hoping that won't happen again, at least today. Reporting live in Jacksonville, I'm Holly Pfeiffer. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Holly, for that live report.
And as you know, many local schools still taking precaution today. Here's a look at when some of them will reopen. Leon and Wakulla County schools set to reopen this Thursday. Gadsden, Madison, Taylor counties will be open tomorrow. Suwannee County schools will remain closed all week.
As for our colleges and universities, FAMU, FSU, Thomas University, and TCC will be closed all week. Valdosta State will resume classes on Thursday.
And many of the shelters that were open during the storm are now closing right now. One at Florida High in Tallahassee will remain open. That's 3000 Schoolhouse Road, but we've been told that all of the other shelters that were at local schools will close.
2 other shelters are opening as we speak, though. One at Northwoods Baptist Church, that's at 3762 Capitol Circle Northwest. Another at Huntington Oaks, located near the Lake Jackson Library. Both of those shelters are pet friendly.
And here's an update on some of the power outages across the Big Bend. The city of Tallahassee reporting 5,200 people still without power right now. Talquin Electric has more than 15,000 outages, and more than 18,000 Duke Energy customers are still in the dark.
Well, it could take weeks for all of the damage in the Big Bend to be cleaned up. A huge oak tree landed on a house on North Mission Road. That's near Tharp Street in Tallahassee. Neighbors say it fell on the home around 10 o'clock yesterday in the morning. They thought that it was a transformer blowing out.
It didn't seem that bad, a little wind, rain, it was a little worse than it is now. But, anyway, it went the other way, and I hate to be selfish, but I thank God that it went that way instead of this way.
Well, thankfully, no one was injured. The tree did crush a portion of the fence, too, that separated the 2 yards. The entire state of Florida, especially areas in South Florida and in Jacksonville, dealing with damage.
Many evacuees are heading home today, but they don't know exactly what they will face when they get there. Our Charlene Cristobal is here with more on what you should do if your home was damaged in the storm. Hey, Charlene.
Hey guys, well, your home was damaged in Hermine. Now what? You probably have a lot of questions and need a lot of answers, right? Well, we reached out to the Florida Chief Financial Officer's office and asked what homeowners need to know now. Here are tips that they gave us. First, find all of your insurance policies, including your homeowner's policy, flood policy, and auto policy as well. Your auto policy may cover damage to your car from flooding. Second, make sure you document all damaged property and belongings as well. They recommend that you take photos or shoot video before attempting to make any temporary repairs. Third, contact your insurance company or insurance agent as soon as possible to report all the damages. If you need help finding your property insurance info, there's a Hurricane Irma section on the CFO's website. That's myfloridacfo.com. Fourth, while you're waiting for repairs, make sure you cover the damaged areas that may be exposed to the elements. That's in order to prevent any further damage. They may recommend that you remove waterlogged and other damaged items from your house to prevent the spread of mold, and also make sure to document them. A really important thing here is to not throw away any damaged property until your insurance adjuster looks at it. And the last one, which is maybe the most obvious one, don't accidentally sign your rights away. Read everything carefully and fully understand every document that you sign, and also ask specifically who will be responsible for the payment, you or your insurance company. Now, if your insurance documents happen to be damaged or destroyed in the hurricane, you may be able to call your insurance company and request some copies before filing your claims, guys. But these are some good tips from the CFO's office.
Yes, they are. Thank you very much, Charlene.
And as Charlene just mentioned, only hire contractors who are licensed. There are people out there, unfortunately, at this time trying to take advantage.
That's right. Andy Marvin has more on some scams awaiting those returning to their homes.
Greg Goodrich took shelter in Jupiter while Hurricane Irma came through. He came back to his West Palm Beach home today with his son to see what damage has been left behind.
Just tree damage. A lot of trees fell down in the whole surrounding neighborhood.
Now he's preparing to call a tree service company for help.
The big ones, I'll take care of the small stuff, and the big stuff I'll probably need some help with.
And there's no shortage of contractors out on the roads offering their services, in some cases with bad intentions. Law enforcement says it is common for scammers to pose as repair and removal contractors. Some even pose as FEMA inspectors, charging for their services.
But I can't overemphasize this enough. Scammers. They are on the way to St. Lucie County as we speak, and they're here to scam you out of cash, your life savings, and anything else that you want to give them in lieu of work that you think is going to be done to your home.
Scams during national disasters has become such a problem across the country. The National Center for Disaster Fraud was created, which receives hundreds of calls every month.
Sounds too good to be true? It is.
And if you suspect that someone is trying to commit fraud, please do report it. You can call 1-877-693-5236. The Salvation Army is still hard at work even after the storm is over.
Volunteers making more than 2,800 meals today and sending them out for lunch for a lot of those evacuees. Members of the fellowship at Midway Church also helping to prepare the meals, and the Tallahassee Police Department pitched in to distribute them to those in need.
The recovery period for a storm like this can take a long time, and so we will be here meeting those needs, whether it's food, clothing and furniture, vouchers, emergency financial assistance for family.
Lieutenant Mayo there says any supplies donated that is not used here in the Big Bend will be sent down to South Florida to help with their recovery efforts there. A little more than 3 weeks ago, as you remember, we were talking about another major storm, Hurricane Harvey.
Well, it ripped through Texas and Louisiana. Well, tonight, celebrities are coming together to raise money for those victims. Beyonce, Blake Shelton, Barbara Streisand, and Oprah Winfrey, just to name a few, will headline the event. More celebrities are expected to perform in the telethon, which will benefit several organizations. You can catch it right here on CBS. That's tonight at 8 p.m. All right, coming up first, it was the rush to get out of South Florida for Irma. Now it's the rush on the roadways to get back home.
We'll meet one man who stayed in his South Florida home and endured a nightmare. But first, let's check in with Rob.
Well, hi there, everybody. We are looking for a little bit of brightness in the skies, especially further south. To the north, that cloud cover a little extra stubborn. Now, we can still see some of that low-level moisture churning around what's left of Irma, and we might even find a couple of showers scattered in over the next couple of days. But I do think a little brighter, a little drier, and a whole lot nicer coming our way. Let's break it down. Full forecast in just a few minutes.